So let me ask you this then. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, Clint. We were kind of BSing, but I don't think you heard the question. I want to get it from both you guys. Who gets drafted higher, him or Max Duggan?
Ooh, I bet you it's him.
Just off of the intangibles. Is that what you're saying? He's so intangible rich, resume rich.
Yeah, I mean, you're just the resume rich is the right way to put it. I mean, Max has been impressive for a year. Stetson's blown it out of the water for two. I think Stetson throws the football better than Max right now. I think he's as impressive, if not more impressive, throwing the football. I think the resume, I think the way the ball comes off his hand, I think all of that is going to push him ahead of Max Duggan. I think that's my opinion. I'm not slighting Max in any way, shape, or form. I just think Stetson. You want to talk about somebody that's made himself some money? I know we talked a lot about C.J. Stroud's game against Georgia,
Yeah.
and while it was a great game and it was the best ball that I've seen C.J. Stroud play, and I think C.J. Stroud established himself as the number 2 in this draft with that performance. It was lights out. I mean, I'm in on C.J. Stroud being an NFL quarterback now. From that, I'm talking about being able to do it all. When you look at what he was able to do, I think that was impressive. But I'll say that Stetson Bennett has done more for his draft stock over the last 3-4 ball games than anybody in the country.
I agree because he went from kind of a really cool, nice, notable free agent earlier in the year, mid-year, to now. I still don't think he's going to be a first day.
No, Stetson
Be a second day guy. I think it'd be like around 5, 6, 7 to a playoff team with a nice veteran quarterback and a winning coach. Go in there and get situated. Let me ask you guys this question. If we switched quarterbacks tonight, what would the result look like? Stetson comes out leading TCU's attack. Duggan as
them dogs will be eating frog legs any way you slice it.
Yeah.
Either way.
We talked about this earlier on the pregame show too. Like, I mean, I said this. I think the quarterback position is the most dependent position in sports. You're only as good as what's around you, top to bottom, from play calling, management, culture, and then the playmakers around you. And I think you give Duggan what Stetson's had the benefit of having. I think he wins this game, and we're talking about him right now, right? And that's not slighting Stetson. He's obviously maximized his opportunities, but to me, I agree with you. I mean, I think the whole situation was leaning towards Georgia in the first place. Stetson's just been a beneficiary of that, and he's done some things on his own to also, expand upon it and create some separation. But I think Max would have benefited the same way.
Speaking of Max, what did this playoff run do for him? He got hot in the Big 12 championship game. I mean, he really carried them, and he's got a story too now. He's already been a predominant starter for the last 2 seasons before Coach Dykes gets there. Coach Dykes comes in, evaluates both quarterbacks in camp. Max, you're 2. First game, football dictated. Max, you're back to 1. And then he goes on this run against Kansas State. He looked like Tebow. They kept calling him Tebow. Michigan, he didn't have so much of that William Wallace to him, but he led. Made the big plays when he needed to. He's still not like a high volume thrower. More of like a home run, strikeout, home run, foul off, home run type of guy.
Yeah. Hey, G, to me, we watched, and you brought him up earlier, Hack. To me, he's very Sam Howish to me.
Oh, love something going deep, but either not the patience or processing to work his way across a full field read type of deal, or accuracy. And then they don't really even play like that. I'd be curious what the offense looks like. If is this system tailored to him, or is he doing what Dykes wanted? Like, the Dykes want to play this way. You don't really.
It don't matter ultimately. I mean, it's a heavy air raid system that they're playing in. That shit ain't going to translate to the NFL. I think his game does, though, right? I mean, I think his game, to me, his game stylistically is very Sam Howell. His game stylistically is very, and I know people frown upon this, but it's silly to do so. It's very Baker Mayfieldish, in my
Better
opinion.
athlete than those two guys, though.
Is he?
I think he's a better athlete, and I think they're more accurate than him. I don't even know what his comp would be. I like where you're going.
I don't. I mean, I just remember Sam Howell being a guy that was thought to be more athletic than Baker, a little bit more athletic than Baker. I just don't know that. Like, I don't watch Duggan and go, boy, that athletic ability is going to translate to the NFL. Like, he's going to have to play on time and in rhythm, and then he's going to if he does move, it's extending plays. It's not doing what we're watching him do, running that damn read.
Yeah,
and he didn't do that all day today. He didn't do that all night tonight. And that was part of the. I mean, even going back to that post that he missed that you were talking about, Clint. Like, he hadn't settled in, and that was a situation where he got moved off his spot. He had the time to set himself and make that throw, but he didn't do it. He was all leaned back and way out of rhythm, way out of whack, way off center. But he had time to gather it, but he could just never settle in. And real pure passers, in my opinion, accurate passers, no matter what happens in that type of situation, throughout the game, they still find a way to get back into rhythm. He just never could do that. That's
going to be a real challenge for him. And I was going to try to say Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones, I mean,
no,
he might have his ups and downs, but Daniel, I don't think he's that level. I'd be curious. I do think he drafts him and gets him to camp.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. I think the problem with what they do, and to me, this is an air raid quarterback problem relative to quarterbacks translating to the NFL. Is like, you can tell how Max plays. It's literally catch the snap, and there's no rhythm or timing. It's that's the void we want to get to. This receiver, take whatever route you need to get there, and when you get there, I'm gonna give you the ball. And so you're back there just like, there's no rhythm, there's no one hitch, there's no steps, there's no clock in the head. It's just literally, I'm gonna hold this thing as long as I can, or as long as it takes you to get to that spot. I mean, you never can. That translated really, really well for a guy named Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Now, he's still playing that free willy shit, and he's the only one that can do it. He does it at a championship level. So now everybody wants to do it. So I think it's bad for football in general, but he's doing it. He's doing it at a championship level. So it can be done, obviously.
It'll take a real creative coach and somebody who says, we'll give him a chance. Come have a seat over here and let's start letting you cut your teeth, and we'll get you in when we can, type of situation. Let's swing back to Stetson Bennett here, and then I want to ask you both about what this does for Georgia and TCU going forward. TCU, king of Texas, Georgia, I mean, king of the free world and king of the part of the world that ain't free.